Hi and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Flo and today's video is all about where you can make more money selling books on Ziffit or Vinted. I have never sold books on either of these platforms before. I've only ever sold clothes on Vinted and it's a great app. I really love it and I know a lot of people sell books on that app, but I want to see, I've never heard of Ziffit before until recently. I think I saw it on like a YouTube ad or something. And so I want to see where I can sell my books and make the most money. I have never got rid of any books. I was trying to create a library and I know you need 1,000 books for a library. So I've been hoarding books, but I live in a one-bed flat, a tiny one-bed flat in London, and I just don't really have the space. I am going to pull out all of my books that I want to get rid of and see where I make the most money selling them. Okay, so I think the way that I'm gonna set up this like experiment challenge video, whatever you wanna call it, is I think I'm gonna download Ziffit because I've never used it before, try and set myself up on that app, and then also go through my shelves. I've not just got this one, I've got a few others around the flat, so I will pull them out, like the books that I wanna donate, and then after that, I think it's probably gonna take me a while to get used to both of the apps, and I don't know how I'm gonna compare the two, but literally you will see my first-hand reactions because I've never used Ziffit before. I have a basic understanding of Vinted, so maybe I know that with Ziffit you scan like the barcode of the book and then offer you a price, I believe. I don't know yet. So maybe I would compare that to what I would sell the book on Vinted, because obviously on Vinted you set the prices for what you're going to sell the book at and they give you some parameters as to what other people have sold the books for. So yeah, I will sort out my shelves today and then let you know what I've got left to sell and go through, and then I think I will provide regular updates. Maybe I'll give it a week. I think I'll do a week where I compare the sales on Vinted versus the money I make on Ziffit and give you an update as I go. Okay, so sorry, ignore the shoddy lighting. I'm gonna now download the Ziffit app, and I thought I would give like first impressions as I do it. I've already got the Vinted app, like I mentioned, I sell clothes on it, so I'm very familiar with it and like the setup, and I do find it super user-friendly, and I find it really easy to sell on there. I prefer it to Depop actually. Let's try Ziffit. Okay, so that's downloading, and on the App Store it's got 4 out of 5 stars and 6.2 thousand people have reviewed it, so not bad. I guess like my initial assumptions would be that you have to wait for people to buy your books on Vinted, so you might not sell them if you just use Vinted, whereas I feel like Ziffit, it guarantees a sale maybe. And actually super interesting because straight away it just comes up with like the, I don't know, like scan your barcode. So you'd like scan the barcode of the book and then maybe it tells you how much money you'll make off of it. But I haven't even set up an account. That's the first page you see is like the scan page. So I guess I need to set up an account, put all my details in, and then see how I go. So yeah, I will find some books and then test this out. Okay, so I have really briefly and really quickly scoured my bookshelves. I was gonna do like a full pull all of the books that I wanna sell out of my bookshelves, but I've run into 2 issues. A, I'm struggling to part with some, so I think I need to like ease myself in by maybe picking like a couple of books first to try. And then B, what was point B? Oh yeah. And B, I also think it takes so long to sell books anyway, especially if I'm gonna do it through Vinted. I find that like taking the pictures of them, uploading them and setting the price, when I do it with my clothes, when I clear out my wardrobe, I normally do it in like bite-sized chunks because it just feels easier and it feels like, I don't know, you can keep momentum going, whereas if you've got like 100 dresses to upload, you just lose interest and you stop doing it. So if I normally do about 5 in one go, so I just thought I would try that with this, with selling books. So I've got 3 books, and this is the first book. So I've done like, I have to hide the title. I think I got this as like a Secret Santa present one year and it's been on my bookshelf for ages, so I can get rid of this. I don't think I would sell it on Vinted if I was going to use Vinted, so I'd be interested to see what I'd get on Ziffit. in comparison, otherwise I think I would just donate it anyway. This is the other book. I have 2 copies. I got like the Waterstones special edition after getting this one, so I can part with this one really easily. And then this is the 3rd book that I'm gonna see if I can sell. I actually just randomly got this from Amazon. I never actually ordered it myself, and I don't know why I have this, basically. Okay, so I've got the Ziffit app open, and this is my first time using it, so let's start with the first book. And I think you literally just scan the barcode. Oh, so it says with this book, they won't accept it. Maybe they have like a list of books that they want and don't want, I don't know. So yeah, they won't accept this one. Now let's try this one. Let's see if they'll accept it. Okay, so they would sell this one for 70p. So I think I might try and sell this on Vinted and see if I get a sale before I decide, because 70p isn't that much. Okay, and then we'll try this book. Okay, so it says on the app they'll accept £5.51 for this book, and they automatically add it to a basket, and then you can like complete the trade. I don't know if you can see it. So I might leave that in the basket and then add more to it. But also I should caveat this and say the original value of this book is $50. So £5, I've never even ordered this book. I never paid for it. So I suppose £5 isn't a bad shout. So maybe I'll add it, or maybe I'll see if I get any interest on Vinted. Okay, so to provide an update, I thought I would actually upload like both on both sites, just so I can do like a comparison of all of them. So on Vinted, I put this on for £10, and then this I just did for £1. I did it like the cheapest possible that I could put on. And then this book, I think I did £4. I would say obviously the downside of Vinted is how much manual effort it is to like upload the book onto the site. It does do what's really cool, like in the same way that Ziffit does, where you can scan the barcode for the like, is it the ISBN or something? I don't know. For that number, however, you still have to put on Vinted the name of it, the condition, pictures and all of that, whereas on Ziffit you just scan the barcode, and I don't think it cares what condition it is in, or maybe it asks me that later down the line, I don't know. So if you want it quicker, Ziffit seems better. However, the price that they offer for the book is a lot less than maybe you could get on Vinted, but you haven't got guaranteed sales on Vinted. So we'll see how the rest of the week goes and if I actually get any sales on the books. Okay, so a little update. I put the 3 books on Vinted, and I kid you not even like 2 minutes later, this book sold, and this was the one that I was like, oh, I might just like throw it away. So Vinted is unexpectedly going well. Is Friday, and I've pulled out 12 books in total that I want to sell on either Vinted or Ziffit, and I can give you a progress update so far. So I've got a pile of books where Vinted was the clear winner. So that's this one. Ziffit wouldn't take this book. I think they had too many in stock already, so the only option I had was to sell it on Vinted. I've put it on there for £1.50, so we'll see if it gets any interest. And then this next book, Ziffit wanted 70p for it, and it's literally brand new, so I put it on Vinted for £2. It's getting like a lot of favourites, so hopefully this sells within the week. And then this book, so Ziffit wanted £5.57, I think, for this book, but I put it on Vinted to try my luck, and I managed to sell it for £10. And then this book, Ziffit wanted £2.80 for it, but I've managed to sell it on Vinted for £4. This book, Ziffit wanted 33p for it, which I actually think is fair enough. It's super old, it's been used a lot, so I wasn't like that bothered by it, but I put it on Vinted and tried my luck. It's on there for £1, and I actually think that maybe that's a little bit cheeky considering how used it is, so I probably won't get a sale. So if I don't by the end of the week, I'll just send it to Vinted. And then this book, Ziffit just wanted 70p for it, whereas it's selling for £16.99 and I've not used it. So I've put it on Vinted for £3, and I'll see if I get any interest in it. But this next pile is actually books where Ziffit I think are the clear winner. So there is a diet book that I have that I'm going to sell to Ziffit, and they want like 50p for it. I didn't want to sell it on Vinted. It's like a really old diet book. So I just thought Ziffit would be easier, and I wouldn't ask for a pound for it. So it's easier just to send it to Ziffit. And then the next book is this one. Ziffit have asked for 70p for it, and I wouldn't put it on Vinted for a pound, so it's easier and quicker to sell it on Ziffit. And then this book, I bought it secondhand for 50p, so I would feel bad uploading it to Vinted for a pound. And actually Ziffit are asking for 57p for this, so I've made 7p. And then this book, if I was gonna put it on Vinted, I would have put it on for a pound, but Ziffit have asked for £1.60, so clear winner, just gonna do it to Ziffit. It's so much quicker. This book is an interesting one. Ziffit want £1.20 for it, whereas Vinted, I have put it on for £1.50. I consider this a tie because if you think about the cost of packaging, if you sell it on Vinted, the time it takes to upload it and the time it takes to send it to the parcel shop, is it worth the 30p? You might say no, it's just easier and quicker to add it into the bundle of books that I'm gonna be taking to Ziffit. So that's my day 2 update. I'll let you know if I sell any more on Vinted. Otherwise, I'll be sending the parcel to Ziffit, and I will give you the total at the end of the week. Okay, so please ignore the state of me as I've just been on a run, but it's officially been a week since I did the Vinted v Ziffit challenge for selling my books. I had 12 books that I wanted to unhaul. I've managed to sell 5 on Vinted and 5 on Ziffit, but before I go into where I made the most money, I thought I would give you some like pros and cons of both of the sites. So with Vinted, the minimum that you can sell an item for is £1. And so obviously if you've got a tatty book and you don't really want to ask for £1 for it, you'd struggle to sell it on Vinted, so Ziffit would be the best option. And then also you have to consider the fact that you have to take pictures for every book and item that you want to sell on Vinted, so that's quite time consuming, whereas in comparison to Ziffit, all you have to do is scan a barcode and it gives you a price straight away. The other downside is you do have to deal with customers on Vinted, so they might ask you a lot of questions and that's quite time consuming. They might have a back and forth about the condition of the book as an example. So if you don't want to deal with customers, Ziffit is the winner. And then of course you're not guaranteed a sale. It just depends if you can find a customer on the app that wants to buy it. I have about half of the books that haven't sold on Vinted, but it has only been a week, so it just takes a bit longer to sell. And then with Ziffit, the minimum bundle that you can send has to be a value of £5, and typically they offer quite low prices for books. A lot of books ranged from like 50p to 70p was what they wanted, and so you have to sell more than 5 in order to put a bundle through with Ziffit. So if you just want to unhaul like 1 or 2 books, Ziffit is not the option. You'd have to wait until you have a value of at least £5 to execute the trade. However, it's super easy because all you have to do is scan the barcode, then they offer you the price. You don't have to wait for customers to want to buy the book at a certain price or haggle with you. So that's super easy. However, they don't accept all of the books. I think I did just go around my bookshelves to see whether they would take some of my books or not. And actually a large proportion of them they didn't want to accept because they either just weren't taking that book or they had enough of that book already. And then I mentioned it before, but you do get less money on Ziffit compared to Vinted, and so you have to sell a lot of books in order to be able to sell with them, but also you might not make as much money, whereas if you had the time and the patience to use Vinted, you would make more money. However, it's super quick, and actually like Vinted, you don't handle shipping. So I would say that is also a plus for Ziffit because you're literally just doing one post office trip, one parcel, and you're not paying for it. Whereas Vinted, if you have multiple sales across multiple days, you'd be going to the post office quite frequently. And then the other thing to be aware of is that Ziffit have condition guidelines, and you should go on their app to make sure that each book you're selling meets them. So if you annotate your books, you highlight them, or they're in pretty bad condition, they won't accept them. And the other thing to super be aware of is if you think one of your books meets the condition, however they disagree with that, they will not give you the money for the book, but they will keep the book and not return it to you. So with all of those positives and negatives to bear in mind, let's get to the final result of where I made the most money. I feel like I've already alluded to this, but I definitely made more money on Vinted. So I sold 5 books on Vinted and I made £18.50. I sold 5 books on Ziffit and it would have come to £3.72, but I can't execute the trade unless I have £5 worth of books to sell. I think for me, every time now in the future that I'm gonna sell a book, I think I'm gonna check both sites and see where I could make the most money. But also, do I wanna spend time selling on Vinted? Maybe not. Am I going on holiday? I just wanna get rid of them before I go away. I might use Ziffit. So I think it's circumstantial, but I think I'll definitely still use both apps going forward. And I should also, I guess, caveat it by saying the books that I posted on Vinted, they were higher value. I had a variety of books, so I don't think it's necessarily fair to compare the prices side by side. You have to take into consideration the books you're selling, but also the positives and minuses of both apps. So thank you so much for watching this video, and if you liked it, please don't forget to like and subscribe, because I'm new to this whole YouTube thing, so your support would mean so much. And if you want to see anything else like this, please let me know in the comments what else you'd like to see from me. It would mean so much. Thank you, bye.